Alright. Super Princess Peach, any percent speed run. 3, 2, 1, go! So as we go along this run, feel free to ask questions along the way. I would love to answer them. The first thing you'll notice as we enter the first stage, I'm going to be using a mechanic called Gloom a whole lot in this run, because as you saw, I was running when I did it. This is my normal running speed without Gloom. It's not worth turning it on because the game freezes every time you use a vibe. But in here, because this is a longer room, I will turn it on. The thing you have to watch out for is that in the top left corner you see the vibe gauge. You can only use any of the vibes on your touchscreen so long as that meter, put on the pipe please, is not empty. So you have to be a little careful with vibe maintenance because of that. One key way that we will be conserving that vibe though, you will see anytime I'm using Gloom, I'm not just running on the ground. I'm constantly hopping. And the reason for that is that your Gloom vibe, for whatever reason, decreases a lot slower in the air compared to when running on the ground. So we are going to optimize any opportunity we can to be hopping to maintain our vibe as much as possible. Alternatively, instead of using Gloom vibe, anytime we slide our booties down slopes, that is another way for us to move fast. Actually, using Gloom vibe and running down slopes have the exact same speed, but using the slopes for booty slides have the added benefit of the game not starting and stopping every time we turn a vibe on and off, because we're not turning on a vibe on and off. We are just sliding down slopes. So between the two, slope sliding is definitely preferred, but you can't do it on flat surfaces. So you can see there I ran out of vibe. There is a way to refill vibe. I can pick up enemies and parry the parasol buddy will absorb them. Which upgrades do we buy at any percent? Excellent question. We should probably start with the fact that this game has upgrades. There is a shop that we can visit between every level anytime we want. If we're lucky, we'll only visit the shop once, which is unlikely. We're more likely to visit the shop twice. The first time I will be doing it will be when my coin counter hits 200 coins. And that is to buy the power-up Floatbrella, which you would think, you know, our parasol buddy Perry, being that he is a parasol, we should be allowed to just nicely float with him. It costs 200 coins to do that. So yeah, he wants our money. It's not cool. So yeah, we will buy that Floatbrella power-up once I have 200 coins. Ideally, I'll hit that once by the time I finish World 1. I'm at 99 coins now. There are some decent coin sources in the next couple levels that'll hopefully get me there. If not, we'll instead be getting it early World 2. Beyond that, I was talking about running out of vibe gauge being something that you need to watch out for. There are actually power-ups called Vibe Teas, and what they do is they increase our vibe gauge. So we are going to try to basically find what is the right amount of times to do that. That was unfortunately only one coin at the end there. So what we've determined when speedrunning this is we want to buy 2 Vibe Teas, which cost a total of 750 coins, and we usually hit that when we get to World 4. So around the halfway point in terms of number of levels. The chances to get a peach? You are asking questions that I'm not even setting up? What are you talking about peaches? So at the end of every level, you see the little spinny wheel of like different, yeah, I know, but you're saying get a peach. I never said you could get a peach. That's all. It's fine. I appreciate the questions, Charlie. See, at the end of every level, you see that little roulette wheel with turnips, flowers. Actually, real quick side note, this is like a little puzzle section. The mushrooms show what order to hit the... I already screwed up. What order to hit the flowers. So this room is red, purple, blue, and then red again. And then this next one is like a much larger room you have to solve. But yes, at the end of every level, there's that little roulette wheel. And you want to get the star because getting a star gives you 50 coins, a flower gives you 30, mushroom gives you 10, and a turnip gives you 1. But on top of that, the star has a slight chance. The super mega hard puzzles, yeah, the puzzles can get kind of tricky here. I don't know. Oh, my money count is kind of low. The star has a chance to turn into a peach and give you 777 coins. And if you get that, it makes your shopping woes way less woeful. Unfortunately, my coin count is low, so we will be buying the Vibe Tea of the Floatbrella a little late in the run. That's okay. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. Now, we're at the boss stage. Every boss stage has a touchscreen minigame you have to participate in before getting to fight the boss. This one is I'm using the touchscreen to pull little trampolines to bungee my way up. And we get to fight everyone's favorite sunshine boss, Petey Piranha. He is more or less the same as his Super Mario Sunshine counterpart in terms of how you defeat him. Instead of having Flood, though, we just use Gloom Vibe to fill Petey's belly with tears. And upon filling the belly, we give his belly button a good old stomp. And that does damage. And now when he's down to 2 health, he goes into a phase 2 where he activates his own Rage Vibe. So he's going to start stomping around a bit. Fortunately, his movement is very much predictable. We know exactly what he's going to do so long as we do our stuff correctly. So I know he's going to do one more scream here, and then one more hop, and then I can fill him with water from the back here real quick. And that's the Petey fight. Yep, we oversaturate with sodium water. And we saved a toad! Which you'll see there's a bunch of pink boxes across all the levels. All of those pink boxes have toads, and the game expects you to save every single toad. There's 3 in every stage. If you want to do the math, 3 in every stage, 5 levels in every world, 8 worlds, plus 7 more toads, technically 6 more toads, not 7, because one of them's the green man. Yeah, it's weird because there isn't a toad for the last 2 bosses. But yeah, so you do 5 times 3 times 8 plus 6 toads in the game, plus a green man, and we save Mario at the very end. But yeah, the game wants you to do that. You saw I saved a toad there as well. But for the most part, you'll notice I'm not breaking open the pink boxes. The reason for that is a trick that we learned about 1.5 years now called Toad Skip, where we will do a little bit of a touchscreen shenanigans that basically breaks us into the boss without us having to beat saving all the toads. Sentences are hard, by the way. But yeah, I like this auto-scroller for when you're short on coins. An interesting thing you can do, you can throw these enemies into each other like so. and they give us a nice little coin amount. So I can do this, and boop, and there's more coins. And again, boop, and this actually gets us over 200. There we go. So we'll be going shopping after this stage. But yeah, I mentioned that we use Gloom Vibe a lot to run fast. You see there's 3 other hearts on the touchscreen down below. Each one of those activates a different vibe. We will use 3 of them for sure, potentially a 4th. The red one is Rage. It gives us more or less invincibility, and we can set things on fire and stomp on things. The Joy is used for flight. That's the yellow heart. And we use that in very vertical rooms to go up. So you'll see that whenever we want to go up. Plus, you can use it to activate tornadoes to spin them. Also, Gloom could spin that water wheel to open a pipe to a secret area, but that's just for a Toad. Speaking of Toads, hi Toad, bye Toad. You don't get to be saved today. Because the Toad skip was discovered, we did add a new category called All Toads, which is essentially the old Any% category. So if you are more of a somewhat completionist, that may be the category for you. Although if we're talking true completionism, there's the 100% category, which perhaps down the line during this run I can really go into detail what 100% looks like. But yeah, actually up ahead here, I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure, have I used, I'm trying to think if I've used the Joy Vibe yet. I don't know. If not, there definitely will be times in the future where we see it get activated. But yeah, now you can see if I jump, I can hover briefly with my parasol, like so. Nice. I went a little slow in this room, but this room actually has moving platform cycles, so I still caught that cycle. Okay, this room here will have us using the Joy Vibe. So I'm running against the wind here, so even with Gloom it would be kind of slow, so I actually wait till I go about halfway through the room because I don't want to run out of my vibe too early because I'm going to Joy up here to get up to the top section a little faster. I'm low on vibe, but I get a refill in those blocks. There's a little blue crystal that refills the vibe. So that's the fact that I was low on vibe there is why I knew to hold off before activating my Gloom. And there's another mushroom for 10 coins. So yeah, you can see me just running through all these courses, just a happy little princess, zooming through Who's Flits. A little bit of a vertical auto-scroller here, so, you know, the kind of time you get to sit back, relax. I will say, that is a lie. Auto-scrollers are no time to relax. I have gone on autopilot a little bit too hard and have just jumped off these ladders, and falling off forces you to restart the room. So you don't want to do that. So don't autopilot. Like right up here, if I were to like camp the top of the ladder, I would have bumped into that sad flying Goomba. And I don't want to do that, because it would have knocked me off the ladder and I would have fallen. I flew in one of the first rooms for a second. Thank you, Charm. Yeah, you also unlock minigames like this. There's 3 types of minigames in here. They're all Toad minigames, like that one's Toad Jump. It's essentially like an endless runner. Not endless, but it's a runner where the Toad runs straight and you blow into the microphone to make the Toad jump. Oh, here's one of my favorite things to do. I'm gonna eat at this piranha plant so it yeets me, and I have all this momentum, and I bounced off of a Cheep Cheep too. That is really lucky, and I jump the moment I land to keep my high speed momentum. So that room, I love that you get spit out of a piranha plant and you just have the zoomies. It is fantastic. Ooh, a little thing coming up in this room. There is a trampoline. You've seen me jump off trampolines before, but the trampoline essentially translates your horizontal speed into vertical speed. So I'm going to use Gloom here to gain some extra speed, if I can do this right, so that I jump even higher. Without Gloom, I cannot make that jump. So we use Gloom to get extra height off trampolines, and that's actually going to come into play on even bigger trampolines in World 3. But yeah, I was talking about the minigames. Toad Jump, you use the microphone to make Toad jump as he runs to the right. You just have to jump over obstacles. There is also What are those? Toad Shot is just like you're tapping at a bunch of balloons to pop them. Just on the touchscreen, just popping a bunch of balloon targets. And the last one is Toad Tote. The best thing I can compare Toad Tote to, I think there's a game called Irritating Stick that is the same concept. It's also like Operation. You don't want to touch the walls, but it's basically walls of fire that are a maze, and you're just using your stylus to drag a toad through the fireball maze. Of the three, if you wanted to do like a speed run of one of them, Toad Tote would be my recommendation. It's probably the one of the three that's like the most like friendly to being a speedrun category. Toad Jump is essentially an auto-scroller unless you take damage and have to reset. And then Toad Shot is just a bunch of spamming a touchscreen. You can only speed it up so much. Alright, next touchscreen minigame. We are going to be spinning circles on the bottom screen to make this log go up. If I do this fast enough, I can dodge the first little spear there. The rest of the way up, I have to wait. I can't go fast enough to beat these. But yeah, you can see in the minigames, like, the top screen doesn't look that eventful. There's nothing there. All the gameplay right now is all happening on the bottom screen because I'm spinning circles on the log. So yeah, this is a DS game, and it is proud of it. It uses a lot of touchscreen controls, touchscreen minigames. I mentioned the microphone is used. It actually gets used during the main gameplay as well, not just minigames. It has like asymmetric things going on the two screens. This game is a loud and proud DS game. So next boss fight, we got actually a unique character that I don't believe appears in any other Mario game. Who? This is Who's Woods? Oh shoot, that is not great. I needed to get vibe out of those eggs, so I'm actually gonna go into the next phase here. I am low on vibe. I was supposed... Who's Woods? Who's Woods? Who's Woods? Who's who? This is who. But yeah, her phase 2 is just an endless fall until you take out who. So yeah, I was supposed to hit these eggs in the first phase to basically go into this phase with a good amount of vibe already. But unfortunately, because I missed, I had to get them in the second phase. But we got good luck with the vibe drops. We were able to back up that fight pretty effectively. And that gets us out of World 2 already. And it takes us to Spooky Town. So as we leave Who's Woods, we make our way. I almost said Shrek Mansion. It's Shriek Mansion? But yeah, it's time for some spooky levels. And I like these ladders because if you jump properly, you don't have to grab any of them. See if I can do it here. I can actually bounce off this dry bones. Perfect! Okay, this next room has a cycle I have to catch, and if not, I have to wait on some moving platforms. So let me gotta go fast here. Get on this ladder and let go. And jump instantly to catch that platform. Perfect. And now here comes one of my favorite things. There's actually some power-ups that don't cost money. You just pick up and level. There's Slide Brella, which gets us on a zip line. Let's go! So yeah, it's got some nice music, some high-speed excitement, and honestly, just look at me in the parasol. Don't I look so cute? My little hands just poking out, my little eyes. So adorable. And that gets us to the end of the stage, where we get a flower. You may have noticed, so I have basically control of all my vibes. I can be happy when I want, sad, angry, or calm. The enemies aren't so capable of controlling their emotions. So every enemy, not every enemy, some enemies are just like neutral, but there are enemies out there that basically like are stuck in gloom mode or rage, stuff like that. So they don't have control of their emotions as much as I do. And you can, like, basically depending on their emotions, their movements or attacks may be a little bit different. So we've seen like some sad dry bones, we've seen some happy Goombas, some angry Goombas. Here we're actually using rage. You can see Rage vibe is not good for movement. What it is good for is puzzle solving. So I use my rage for like 1/10 of a second to light these torches. And lighting all 4 torches opens a door. Ali could never want. Oh, be angry? Oh, never. Ali is so nice. You're supposed to hit those switches to make platforms appear here, but why do that when you can fly? It's funny, so much platforming can be avoided with flight. Ooh, I blew up my head there. Oh, jeez. Oh, I blew up my head again. Okay, these platforms up here, they disintegrate if you run on them. If you hold L or R, you walk slowly, and that's what keeps them from dissolving. So you walk slowly so they stay on. Ali can control her emotions? What do you mean? That's rude. Okay. One thing I haven't mentioned, watch this. I'm going to take damage on purpose. If you notice, anytime you take damage when you're in a vibe, you automatically get knocked out of the vibe, but the game doesn't like pause and unpause to make it happen. So damage boosting to save little bits of time is actually an optimal thing to do. So if there are places where you can damage boost, we actually did it on the PD fight, if you were paying attention, but we can do it there because the knockback of the spike puts us exactly on the platform where we want to go. I want to see if I can point out some of the vibing enemies, because I know we've passed by a bunch, but I haven't really called them out. This room is a little fun. One, because if you're streaming at 30 FPS, this little spotlight here won't be flickering. It'll either be constantly on or constantly off. But we got that 60 FPS, so it do be flickering. But yeah, you have to lure the big boo and then use it as a platform. You can actually jump up slightly earlier, and the knockback of the boo, when it's still a hitbox, can get you up there, but it's a tight trick that doesn't save enough time for me to be comfortable going for it now. But yeah, a lot of these enemies might look familiar from games like Super Mario World. Like, those are some little Sparkies from the fortresses and stuff. We got a dark room here. If I used Rage right now, the room would light up so we could see it better. But I can see it well enough. I've got good nocturnal eyes. Little puzzle here. If you pick the wrong door in this whole maze, you have to do the entire maze all over again. So it's middle, right, and then left. And you see that had little notes? It was a joy bat. So I think it just flies a little bit faster or something. This foggy room, if I were to use the tornadoes from my joy vibe, it would whisk away the fog. I can see well enough though, so I don't need it. I'm just going to go ahead and get out of here. This is one of those rooms where you can opt to use gloom, but there's also slopes, so I'm going to not worry about turning my vibe on and off. I'm just going to use the slopes instead. Same here, more slopes. I have to jump as soon as I land on these platforms. Lots of slopes, but this last section is a lot flatter, so we do end up finishing this room and finishing the stage with gloom vibe. Like so. You also have a little bit of control on Peach. When you finish the stage, you can wiggle and it sort of messes up her movement. It's like a little spinning around. It's kind of cute looking. Alright, I mentioned trampolines and gloom. This is the level where it gets interesting. Watch this. If I use my gloom here, I'm just going to skip a trampoline. And if I do this one right, this one's a little bit harder. I can skip up to that one. Unfortunately, I did not line it up properly. That's okay though, because these trampolines definitely still get to go a lot faster with what I'm doing. Like so there, I skipped another one there. So you can skip 3 trampolines in total. I only made it to 2, unfortunately. And another bit of platform skipping. Shoutouts to Joy Vibe, just essentially making vertical rooms inconsequential. So yeah, there's little Sparkies from Super Mario World. Yeah, this game invokes a lot of nostalgia from other games. Mario World, Mario Sunshine. I think Yoshi's Island gets a feature. There's actually unused content of the Koopalings as well. They're still somewhere in the programming of this game with animations and everything, and I fell. That's not good. Alright. Unfortunately, because I fell, I just have to start this room over and I can't use my gloom anymore because I don't have any. These blue platforms, if you run at full speed, there's like places where you have to like run across them. Gloom Vibe would get you across them and you wouldn't fall. I just wanted to use Gloom to go fast. Alright, I'm going to try to do another knockback strat here. I just ran into that bomb, so it's going to blow up when I get down here. If I jump, I did it too late. You can get exploded through the floor ceiling, and that can knock you out of your Gloom. I unfortunately slightly mistimed it. Oop. Iggy gives Peach money room. What, like where Iggy is, there's a lot of money? You see, that was a calm Fish and Boo from Super Mario World. Calm enemies are basically napping until you run past them and they wake up and attack. It's a test room. Yeah, you can find the enemies. I don't know all the details, but yeah, you can find them. They're like in test rooms and stuff. There's a bunch of other like weird rooms with like a bunch of Goombas and stuff too. Next minigame, by the way. A lot of people think you're supposed to tap these boos. You actually give them the rubbies. We're giving these boos little scratchies and head pats and rubbies to scare them away. So you can hear a little wipey noise. Beep, beep. Yeah, so you can see, actually, I'm getting so many coins from this. So I mentioned I need to get to 750 coins while I'm in World 4, which is the next world after this. No, thanks for the head pats. So yeah, we get lots of coins from that. Alright, boss time. This boss is RNG. I need to find which torches are not lit. Oh my gosh, we got a really slow first hit. The furthest torch away from me was the one that was not lit. So I just lost the maximum amount of time on the first hit. Now 2 torches aren't going to be lit. No idea which 2. Not that one. It is both on the left, so it is another slow one. This has the chance of being the slowest King Boo fight possible. And I'm actually playing poorly too. There we go. Let's find out. So we lost time because of my movement. But on top of that, additionally, I had to get both top torches on hit 3. This is both bad luck and bad movement. So this is about as unoptimal of a King Boo fight as you can get. But the one thing I will do, I have to be careful because I'm down to my last 2 hits. But as I light these last 4 torches, I'm going to do a damage boost through King Boo to get to the other side just a little bit faster. And that is King Boo in an attempted speedrun, but with the RNG we got, was actually a slow run. But sometimes there's just nothing you can do about RNG. And that's the magic of speedrunning. I honestly never even get King Boo close enough to any of the torches, but I would imagine in King Boo's Gloom Phase 2 phase, if he does get too close to the torches with his crying, I would imagine they would turn off the torches, yes. Interestingly, the little fireball attacks King Boo sends has the potential to light a torch too, so if you guide it to one of the torches, you could actually use that to light a torch. I don't know if it's worth trying to do that instead of just lighting it yourself with raids, but just an interesting little feature if you so choose. Alright, we got a sandstorm room here. I can clean it up with my joy tornadoes, and that would stop me from taking damage, but I'm not going to do that because I want to keep running forward as much as I can. My damage right now does make this next room scary, so I might have to resort to using... I will. Okay. I'm going to use Joy real quick here to just get over this guy. There we go. And now my favorite part of the run, anytime you're down to 2 hearts or less, and on the touchscreen, Peach is having a heart attack. The best part is, in this next room, we've got an auto-scroller. So, unfortunately, Peach is just going to be in a constant state of dying until we get to the end of the room where there's a heart. Yeah. Ooh, I almost walked into him. I walked into him. Okay, that's fine, that's fine. We're just gonna have to hear this noise for the rest of the stage. That's okay. Yeah, and this stage is one of the few stages that has a toad straight up blocking your path, so skipping it is not an option. See, that toad was smart. There was a World 2 toad that did the same thing. So the heart in that block was the one that was supposed to make you not have to hear the low health sound anymore. Unfortunately, I took damage, but the stage is almost over. Here's where we get the next minigame. Toad Tote. The one where you drag the toad through the fire mazes. And that's 30 coins. That's good money. So we need to keep an eye on our money because we're looking to get 750 coins. So we need another 280. 180. Wait, I don't want to do this. This is one of those rooms where it looks like it might be fastest to joy or to gloom, but instead you don't want to fall down that pit. There's certain movement that you can basically skip climbing up that ladder. Unfortunately, in the moment, I did not do it, but that's okay. But the nice thing is this game has the joy vibe, which can save you in a pinch so often. If you have good I think this game has increased my reaction time because there are so many times where I'm about to fall down a pit, and I save it by hitting that joy vibe. Smack that vibe button. See, these are Angie spikes, so you see them steaming and stuff. They run around and then throw spike balls at you. But yeah, it's actually possible to hit the death plane. Ooh, ooh, zipline. Let's go! It's possible to hit the death plane at the exact moment that you activate your vibe. So you can you can activate your vibe and the game kind of tries to activate it. And then you're like, oh wait, I still hit the death pit, you know? It's kind of funny. Ooh, we got a star! So that could have turned into a 777 Peach. The odds of that, I have no idea what they are. I think you asked that forever ago, Charlie. But it's literally like a 2-frame window. Like, I've done like little frame advances to test it, and like, I find a frame where it gives me a star. I hit it 1 frame later, it still gives me it gives me a peach. I hit it 1 frame later, it still gives me a peach. And then I hit it 1 frame later and it stays a star. So the window for it is actually really precise. Also, I'm a little low on vibe here because I missed vibe from a block. We still have enough, so it's fine. And fortunately, this next sandstorm room should have vibe for us to pick up to make up for what I missed right there. Perfect. Sandstorms are another nice way to damage boost to get yourself out of vibe. Definitely handy to have. Another place to rage here, we stomp on these guys. Am I playing on a 2DS? Yes! Oh, you're saying so I am. Yes, that is exactly what I play on. I got a 2DS with a capture card built in. It even came with Mario Kart 7 on it. So I've done a little bit of karting on this. Yeah, but I can stream and play 2DS. I can play DS and 3DS games with it. I am at 727. Okay, we are so close with money. Honestly, as long as we get the 750 before the World 4 boss, that's early enough for me. Vibe management really matters the most during boss fights and like only a few stages. You can do most stages with the standard vibe meter pretty effectively, but it is nice to have a little bit of backup. And just, you know, when you have the extra vibe, why not use it? Records? Wait, my personal records or runs in general? So I count this as playing on a 3DS. It's a 3DS family console. Oh, if I could use it, there's a very tight window to jump there so that you get a nice height. So you have less to joy vibe there. Records and runs. Yeah, you can play this on DS or on 3DS. My first runs, before I had a capture card, were actually on a 3DS. And I just had my camera pointed at my DS screen. The good old days. That was actually my start. This was my first stream game ever. And I would stream with just a camera pointed at my game. You gotta make what you gotta make stuff work however possible. I had like a whole like stack of games to put the camera on. I used the Kid Icarus stand to put the DS on. So now we're gonna go to the shop. This is our second shop visit. We get this Vibe Tea. The first one cost $250, and then Toad, in a supply and demand move, power move, ups it to 500, and then ups it to 1,000 again. And we ain't dealing with that, so we stop our shopping at $750. The 2 Vibe Teas is adequate. Okay, and I'm going to intentionally bounce off these paratroopers. That maintains my slope speed. Very nice movement there. Inflation at its right? Yeah, exactly. Honestly, I'm Princess Peach. I don't even know why I have to pay for it. Should be free for the princess. I rule over this wonderful kingdom. I give it my heart, my soul, everything. And this is the thanks I get: sandstorms and inflation. I'm unfortunately not doing those ladders optimally. If you notice, every time I climb up a ladder, there's like a little get-up animation. If you jump before you reach the top of the ladder, you can basically skip that animation. It's not that precise, but you just have to stop holding up for the top of the ladder so you don't re-grab it. Ooh, a star did not turn into a peach. Just 50 coins, not 777. Thanks for saving me and all my friends. Now give me more money. Exactly. All right, next touchscreen minigame. This one is very similar to the Boos, but these we actually are tapping. Thank you all for sticking around for the run. We're just about at the, it's not really the halfway point in terms of time, but in terms of number of stages, this is the halfway point. So the stages do start getting longer, especially when we get all the way to World 8, Bowser's Villa. Honestly, I think World 6, Glacier Peak or whatever it's called, is probably has some of the shortest levels. But yeah, alright, next boss fight. Everyone knows that the ruler of the volcano is Wiggler. Okay, so there's actually a nice setup for this. We have to flip Wiggler over and then hit the segments. I wait for Wiggler to walk past the first little spring plunger before hitting, then I bounce on the segment. Now I'm gonna run to the other side as fast as I can. He's gonna get angry and go fast. We're gonna make him chill by flipping him over again. If you don't do this, you have to wait for him to calm down on his own, and that can take a while. And we need to hope that the rocks drop more vibes, so there actually is some RNG to this boss fight. And I'm actually gonna do a little damage boost here. It's gonna use up some vibe. But I'm gonna hit him with the rage, then I jump into him like that. Hit the plunger again. And it catches him as he runs. Good vibe drops. There we go. Perfect. So we're getting good RNG so far. Usually you do. It's honestly pretty slim chance to get bad RNG. It's happened to me before. But typically you're fine. Now here's the interesting thing. It looks like you have to time these plungers, but strangely, this straight up waits for Wiggler to come by. So I just chill over here for a little bit. And I'm gonna get rid of the fog and not get any vibe drops. We got one over here, good. So yeah, the fog makes you take damage. So I want to clear it away because I'm going to be taking enough damage from damage boosts anyway. So I don't want to take more damage from the fog if possible. At least not too much more damage. Let's actually go ahead and clear it up a little bit. Alright, we got some good vibe drops. Perfect. And we should be able to get the spring down here, right? Before we take damage? Nice. Perfect! Didn't even take damage from the fog there. And that's the Wiggler fight. Boom. Yeah, so yeah. Yeah, unlike a certain ghost fight, right? RNG doesn't tend to cost too much time on that fight. Zach, thank you for the good luck. Yes. Princess appreciates the luck, Zach. Alrighty, this world, Wavy Beach, has some interesting little movement tricks. It's got some levels with really key vibe management rooms. It's got one room with some kind of tricky movement you have to do. I'm actually gonna go ahead and turn this off here, because I want to make sure I have vibe in the next room. And I used it earlier than I typically do. Oh, sometimes I like to get rid of that piranha. Well, not piranha, Lakitu. Because I don't want to be hit by him, but we're just gonna have to, like, jump around him. Or just get rid of him, there we go. So yeah, we can use this trampoline to gain some height, to save some of our joy vibe. Yeah, there's a couple different ways to approach that room. As long as you have enough vibe, you just gotta be able to joy up those spears, honestly. That's the most important thing. Yeah, always trying to hop whenever possible to maintain our vibe in gloom. Talk about that is very true. We can talk about 100% of it while we're in this auto scroller. So, 100% involves getting every single collectible. You've seen there's a shop. You've seen there's expensive stuff to buy in the shop. You have to buy all the Vibe Teas as they get more and more expensive. There's also health upgrades that get more and more expensive. Those are the tough coffees. You have to buy that. You have to buy a bunch of puzzle pieces in the shop for like the little puzzle minigame this game has. You have to spend a lot of... There's actually a point in the run where you just straight up attack a lot of Koopas and farm their money. That is an entire section of the run, is just coin farming. On top of getting all that money for shopping, you have to do... I mentioned there's 3 minigames. Toad, Toad, Toad Jump, Toad Shot. All 3 of them have 10 levels. And you have to do all 30 of those minigame levels. I just said earlier there's puzzle pieces. There's 8 puzzles you have to do. So you get to do little, like, puzzles a la Banjo-Kazooie puzzles. Or Banjo-Tooie level unlocking puzzles, if you're familiar with those. Every level on top of the 3 toads. Yeah, we just actually passed the coin farm room, now that you mentioned it. That was the very first room of this level, is where we farm all the coins for 100%. There's one of the things you buy from the shop. I think, is it Secret Power maybe? I don't know, but basically it gives you a 5 coin drop from every enemy you whack with your parasol. So we just run back and forth whacking all the paratroopers, just farming cash on cash on cash. Dollar bill, y'all. Ooh, interesting room here. There are these giant chain chomps. I'm going to try to jump over one. Perfect. They have very interesting hitboxes. You can see it like that. There is one room where the chain chomps are going in the opposite direction, and those bizarre hitboxes can potentially work to our advantage. The genocide room, exactly. With the Koopas for the farming. Yes, another thing you have to do, there is an enemy glossary that every time you defeat an enemy, another enemy gets added to the glossary. Oh, thank you, Charlie. Yeah, I can call that out in the next submarine room. There is so many little things you can call out in this game. It's crazy. So many little details. But yeah, for 100%, you have to defeat every enemy once, including an enemy in 3 different levels that has, like, I don't know, maybe a 1 in 5 chance of spawning if I had to, like, make random odds. But you essentially have to keep resetting the room over and over and over until the enemy spawns, and then you have to catch him before he runs away in all 3 rooms. Okay, hang on. This is the level that has some tricky movement. So I said that Joy Vibe makes vertical platforming inconsequential. This is one of the few rooms where that's an exception. The devs actually decided they did not want you to be cheesing the room using Joy Vibe. So you see those little like circles that are kind of hanging around there? They are preventing me from using Joy Vibe to go up. So that jump there that I just casually did is actually a little bit precise. You have to run to the right, hit left so that Peach starts skidding the other direction. And then while in that skidding, you're essentially in full speed. So you get like max height of your jump and you can just barely make it up there. Yes, and a lot of times I just get stuck there. And fortunately this time we got it like second try. Did that so smooth. So yeah, we were talking about this game being a loud and proud DS game. This game has the DS has a microphone. I can blow into the microphone. Just like that. I may have spit on it a bit, I'm sorry. But if you blow into the microphone like that, even less audibly, you blow bubbles. And that's your attack underwater. So yeah, without the bubbles, without a microphone, you're defenseless. Also, this last part of the auto-scroller I really like. The cycles of these urchins are such that as long as you stay along the bottom here, you don't get hit. It's awesome. And then if you stay like around this height, see if I can get the right height, nice pipe entrance. This is an angry paratrooper. It does like little dash attacks if you let it. So a little zoomy movement. So yeah, that level went really smooth. Like really, really smooth. And if we can get this room right, I think we get a... No, we don't get a damage boost. Never mind. But we are going to just transfer straight from Gloom into Joy. So another one of those minor time saves is rather than going Gloom, turn off Gloom, turn on Joy, we just want to transition directly from one vibe into another. Damage boost off the chain chomp. And that just saves us a few extra freeze frames. So what else is there to the 100% run? 30 stages, lots of coin farming, 8 puzzles. Let's see if I can get the movement right in this next room. There's a really precise jump to do. Every stage has 3 toads plus an extra collectible. Oh, I made and I didn't jump when I landed. Oops. But even once you beat Bowser the first time, every level gets 3 more collectibles. Ooh, let's see if I can catch this wave here. If I can catch this wave and use my Gloom, you can zoom me down here. Nope, I went too fast. I went in front of that wave. Yeah, I say Splatoon, Abby. Get your splat on. Or yeah, go for Jennifer. That's right, that's another possibility. That's enough life. So 30 minigames, 8 puzzles. Sounds good, Abby. Have fun. I need to get the vibe before I wanted there. Ooh, that's fine, that's fine. We are going to run out of Gloom a little early in this room now, I believe. If you use your vibe properly, you can Gloom this entire room. Not have to worry about it shutting off like that. But we still ran through most of it, so I'm okay. That is an excellent question, Charlie. I have never done the math. I just kind of eyeball it. Technically, I lose time because I do some extra shop visits I don't need to do. But it is a lot, like thousands upon thousands. Like, if we didn't have that coin farm room, that's the little knockback that we can do. With a Lakitu, which is fun. More nasty chain chomp hitboxes here. But yeah, you have to redo every level to get all the collectibles, plus every world gets an additional 3 levels, each with its own collectibles to get. So in addition to doing every base level twice, you have to do 24 extra levels. Yeah, the nice thing is the locations for the new collectibles are adjacent to where the toads are. Although, one thing to note, the 100% run actually uses the toad skip trick. So you act like, because when you finish, the game treats the toads as collected. Like if you go to the overworld map after beating the game, whether or not you yourself, saved all the toads are marked as collected, and we do call that valid for 100%. The thought behind that is that even though you don't actually collect them, they get counted as collected, so we figured that was valid. Plus, the like 100% even without that is long enough as is. So why not incorporate some nifty tricks to make the run a little more interesting? Because, like, if not, you're doing the exact same route through the levels twice. Because having to go save all the toads, we are in the next minigame, it's more log spinning. Because you have to save all the toads, or like go to all the toad locations in your second run through the stages, it actually makes for a more unique experience for the 100% run. So yeah, with this one with the rolling log, it's the top one you have to wait for, and none of the other ones. Alrighty, another RNG-ish boss here. Honestly, bosses are where the RNG feels most explicit. Another sunshine feature, Gooper Blooper. I have to wait for these 4 tentacles to attack, which the RNG comes in that, like, Blooper seems to take his old time as long as he wants to decide when to attack. Like, he's not attacking right now, I don't know why. I don't know how to convince him to attack faster. And it blows me marbles. But yeah, and then you have to wait for a specific ink attack. That one was not it. This one is. And then he smacked the lips. Rinse and repeat. Yes, one of Blooper's attacks, if you do get hit with the tentacles, you have the potential to get like grabbed and squeezed, or grabbed and yeeted. So getting hit by Blooper is a no-no. It's a big old no-no. Alright, that one it's usually the first hit that goes slowest. After the first couple hits, Blooper kind of gets his act together and attacks a little bit faster. A little bit faster. There we go. The one thing I think you should be able to do to manipulate his attacks to speed up is like get closer to the tentacles so they activate. Like, oh, you're in my range, I can attack. But even when I get under them sometimes, the game still seems to not want to do anything. Also, you can see I'm walking slow as I run through this ink. I can actually use my gloom to wash it away, but it's not worth the time sink. But it can mess you up and get you grabbed sometimes if you're not careful. And Blooper actually uses Calm Vibe for their phase too. And anytime a boss uses Calm, which is Blooper and Final Bowser do, they try to heal. So we just pop the bubble real quick, and we're back to business as usual. Oh boy! There we go. Those were fast attacks. And that's a dead Blooper. You literally have an umbrella falling. Yeah, it shouldn't bother me, but it's a sentient umbrella, and the umbrella doesn't want ink on its face either, so it's considered damage for your umbrella to get hit too. That's the way I see it. We saved another toad? I'm trying to think, was there anything I missed in the 100% description? I don't know, but my other favorite thing, when you... Oh, actually, real quick. This level is the shortest level in the game. We're gonna go in this pipe. If you have to save all the toads, it becomes longer. But when you don't care about the toads, this level is a joke. We go in here, and guess where we are? We have to stop for a minigame. If it weren't for this minigame, this stage, this split for me would take less than a minute. That minigame ruins it for me. Just barely. Very true, Charlie. I was thinking of getting to that at some point. I was thinking about that. Now, let me see if I can get this jump right. If I time this right, it goes 1, 2, 3. Perfect. I'm gonna try a little knockback trick here. There we go. No, why didn't I float? Ding. And we're like, you're supposed to use joy to fly through all this, but with the power of iframes, we just kind of jump through spikes like they're no big deal. But yeah, your prize for getting 100% in this game is a power-up called Endless Vibe. It's like, yay, now that you beat the game, here's Endless Vibe to do the game with. It's like, thanks, but I could have used that earlier game. Interestingly, actually also beating the any percent run, beating Bowser, gives you a power-up called Dashbrella. It's hard to tell, like with my whack attack, but like if I use my whack attack on the ground, I stop in place. So it's actually not good for movement. I'm better off jumping and then whacking. However, when you have Dashbrella, you just get to run and swing Parry the Parasol around in front of you. And just keep running. So that would have also been nice to have for the speedrun. So yeah, you get 2 nice little perks after beating any percent and after beating 100%. Technically, you get the Endless Vibe before beating 100%, so you can we use it for like the final boss, and that's it. That's the only place it gets used. There you can see I did not, I was talking about ladders before. The way I'm jumping when I get to the, what am I doing? Why am I trying to cry on a snowman? That's weird. I lost my train of thought there. I'm sorry. But yeah, we can talk about the, oh yeah, the ladders. There we go. Skipping the get up animation at the top of ladders, that's optimal. What are the power-ups we never use? There is a hip drop-like attack called Poundbrella you can get. You actually need it to get all the collectibles and do some of the bonus stages, but the main route to beat the stages does not require Poundbrella. There's also like a Kamehameha, Kamehameha-like attack, Hadoken, whatever you want to call it, where like you charge up parry and like launch a little projectile. Chargebrella is what that one is called, because you charge it up and launch it. Interestingly, the TAS, when the TAS was being developed and it saved all the toads, the TAS for this would actually get Peaches in the first 2 levels, because they have that kind of power. And it would actually use the Chargebrella to open toad boxes from long range. So that is a nifty thing the task can do. Okay, I'm going to use a lot of slope speed in this section as long as I don't fall down like I did. Right here, more slope. Perfect. 3rd place, GG's. The one thing this world has, even though it's short, Gleam Glacier. Gleam Glacier has like so many auto-scrollers, it's crazy. It actually has, I think, the longest or the 2nd longest auto-scroller in the game. I'm just gonna slowly sneak up on this hammer bro. Surprise, buddy. It also has another unique character for the boss, like a rhino thing named Lazarus. We'll see it when we get there. So much money. Alright, if we can get these jumps right, we can get a lot of slope speed in this room. But this room has so many bullet bills and other enemies that just get in your way non-stop. It's crazy. There we go. That's okay, you can have your own conversation sometimes, I don't mind. I'm too busy speed running anyway. I already knew that Nappa preferred, dogs to cats. He thinks cats are useless. I'm gonna drop this Bob-omb here so I can bounce off him like that. It's a nice little setup there to save on some of your joy. He wouldn't disagree with you there, Charlie. Just so you know. Anyway, so this is one of those rooms that random enemy that you have to like keep resetting for can show up in. Oh, another star. We've gotten so many stars this run. We're making so much money. But yeah, so in the 100% run, you just reset that room over and over until you get the star to appear. Alrighty, this next level is the one that has the really big auto-scroller. So actually, while we go into this, I'm going to use this opportunity to talk about the game's story. I've mentioned that our little parasol friend's name is Perry. He has a backstory of his own, so let me first talk about the main storyline of this game. So me, little old Princess Peach, decides to go on a walk with Toadsworth and probably some of my toads. The other thing that's happening in the meantime, Bowser goes to make a villa, like a vacation home, on this island called Vibe Island, where he gains the Vibe Scepter. And he's like,
"Oh, I'm Bowser. I can use this power to take over the Mushroom Kingdom."
And so what he does is he uses the scepter, he gives it to a little Goombi, and let me get through this room, and then we're gonna have the oh, this room is smooth. Did you see that movement? Unfortunately, we kind of slow down at the end. This is the long auto scroller right here. Fair enough. I appreciate the concern, Charlie. Fair points on either side. Anyways, so Bowser says all that. So Peach is on her walk. Bowser sends some of his troops, some Hammer Bros and the Goomba and all that, to attack the castle, the Princess Peach castle. And all the toads start going bazonkers. They can't control their emotions. They're running around. They're crying. They're angry. They're sad. They're bazonkers. And amid the chaos, Bowser's troop captures a bunch of toads. And also captures the Green Man. And captures Mario and imprisons them. Oh no! Meanwhile, I come back from my little walk with Toadsworth. I'm like, oh no, my castle's in ruin. What am I gonna do? Oh no! And of course, I'm only worried for like 2 seconds. Because I'm a princess. I saved the day. So I'm like, I'm gonna go on an adventure. I'm going to Vibe Island to save everybody. And Toads was like, "Oh, for the princess, you can't go. It's late." And I'm like, no, it's my duty as princess of the kingdom to save everyone. And then Toadsworth was all like, "Oh, fine. If you're gonna go, take a buddy. Take this parasol I found." Toadsworth. And Perry's like, "Hi, I'm Perry. I'll go on your adventure with you and fight baddies." Blah blah blah. And so I was just like, "Oh, okay, sure. I'll take you with me, whatever." So that's how I begin my adventure. And that's how I'm here on Vibe Island. Sort of saving Toads, sort of not. Just on my quest to stop Bowser, because Bowser ruined my castle. How dare he ruin my castle? It's my castle. I put so much work into it. All my money and all that. And I guess I want to save some toads. I don't know. There's giant walruses here. This is crazy. I don't care about them though. Turn up! So yeah, that is the Peach storyline of the game. After this Blazzaris fight, we can go into the Perry storyline of the game. Because I'll actually show you, after every boss fight, you'll notice that Peach and Perry on the touchscreen are at like a little campfire. And if you don't skip the cutscene, you'll see that Perry is having dreams. And those dreams give you Perry's backstory. Also, this is like the Fury Volcano minigame. We just tap into big snow rocks. And the little ones too, except the ones that I missed. Unfortunate. It's okay though. As long as Peach doesn't get hit on the top screen, it's okay. Alright, so now the Blazzaris fight. So I'm gonna wait. So you can attack instantly, but I want to set it up so I can get a vibe refill ASAP. So I'm gonna wait for this stomping. Now I'm gonna start my rage vibe to melt the ice around Blazzaris. And that's how I get my damage. So that's hit number 1. And actually, because of that vibe drop, I have enough vibe to go straight into hit number 3 right now. And there's 2 icicles to the right that I can now farm for vibe. Hopefully we get good vibe drops. Small one, that's fine. And a small one again. I'm gonna let Blazzaris drop more icicles. And we're just melting the ice a little more. Should we melt it over here? Perfect. That was really good RNG and really fast hits. I could have been a little bit faster, but that was definitely one of my fastest Blazzaris fights ever. I got a little in the zone because I wanted to not screw it up. That is, in fact, the fastest I have ever beaten that boss. Let's go! So yeah, here's the little Perry's Dream. We skip it. But that was super-de-duper fast. That is the fastest I've ever beaten that boss. That's really exciting. So now we're in Giddy Sky. Melina! Welcome to the stream. How are you? So yeah, now we're up in the clouds. So a lot of death pits I have to be careful for. Hola! I want to bounce off this paratrooper to catch the ladder. Perfect. And up here, catch these clouds and through the pipe. Yes, I'm getting to the story of the parasite. I'm aware. I just have some slick movement. Damage boost there. Perfect. That I have to get through. There we go. Alright, hopefully I don't have a vibe issue here. We're just gonna fly up. There. Perfect. Grab the Bob-omb for a vibe refill going into the next room. Yes, welcome to the stream. So yes, Perry the Parasol. With every world you beat, you get a little bit more of the backstory, but essentially the full story, after I eat these Goombas and save this toad, is Perry was like, I guess, unconscious and woke up in a forest, and he opens his eyes to see this fellow that he calls Grandpa. He's like, oh, hi, Grandpa, and stuff, and he's like happy with his grandpa, loo-dee-doo-dee-doo. Not much really happens. And then suddenly, some evil dude and his minion, like just faceless figures, show up. And Grandpa tries to protect Perry. But the evil guy goes, woo, magic, and like attacks Perry. And I believe that's what turns him into a parasol. And they basically take Perry away from Grandpa. Timeout on the story. I want to try to get some cool movement here. I mentioned these chain chomps can lead to really cool movement because of their nasty hitboxes. I'm going to see if we can get this. Optimally, I can move faster than the camera here, and it makes for really cool looking movement. Unfortunately, you saw I kind of got pushed to the right there. I didn't get my jump off in time, so it didn't work. But we still got some nice speedy moves done. So beyond that, we get separated from Perry gets separated from Grandpa, and he gets taken away by the minion and the bad guy, and they're like, "Oh, this parasol thingy is garbage. I don't like it. It's a waste of space." And they just toss him on the side of the road. So sad. Did you do your everything? What do you mean my full shave, Abby? Like, I just did my face. I just made my face all pretty, sparkly, nicely shaved. That's all I planned on doing, short term. But it gets tossed on the side of the road, and some merchant dude walks by and, like, sees this parasol and is like, "Ooh, what is this thing? I could maybe use it or something." So he picks up Perry and takes him. Ends up not doing much with him, but, you know, it was nice to have him. But ultimately, it's like, ah, it's just a parasol, whatever, I guess. I don't know. But then, like I said at the beginning, Toadsworth was like, "Take this parasol with you." Ruff, ruff, I'm Toadsworth. And, so this is where Toadsworth comes into Perry's story. Toadsworth happens to walk by the merchant, and the merchant's like, you know, has the parasol sitting there at his shop, and Toadsworth was like,
"Oh, I got a good feeling about this parasol. Blah, blah, I'm Toadsworth. Blah, 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 blah."
and so Toadsworth buys the parasol from the merchant and walks off with him, and Toadsworth has Perry. Honestly, that would have been an interesting game to see. Imagine Super Princess's Assistant Toadsworth. I don't want to play this. I want this. Where you get to play as Toadsworth with Perry the Parasol. That would have been something. Anyways. Yeah, so then Toadsworth brings Perry back, and when they see the chaos that's ensued, Toadsworth gives Perry to Peach, and Perry and Peach go on their adventure. Off we go. But yeah, so once you get the end of that little dream sequence, the last time, Perry is like, "Oh my gosh, that's what happened. Now I remember everything. Yeah, I got separated from Grandpa. So sad." So there's that. And then Perry's like, "Grandpa, I will find you one day and we will be reunited. But for now, I'm going to hang with Peach." The next time you hear about that story is never. Perry gets never reunited with Grandpa. We never see Grandpa. Nothing in the end credits reference Grandpa. Like, Perry just probably gets stored in Princess Peach's closet and never gets to see the light of day because Perry's not... All that Perry gets to be is a sticker and a spirit in Smash Bros. No closure for the parasol. I don't know how much time between the shopping and when Toadsworth gave Parasol Perry to Peach. If you want to talk about modding though, one of the interesting things about this game is how backtrackable it is. Like, I can go in this pipe. Hi, bro! I can go back down that pipe and go through this backwards. Like, just about any level, even if you get to the very end of the stage, you can make your way to the very beginning. I think it would be interesting to see a mod of this game where you spawn at the goal ring, and the goal ring is at the spawn. And you call it Peach Princess Super, and it's just a mod of the game where you have to beat every stage backwards. Can't stay around? That's fine, bro. Hello! Thanks for stopping by even ever so briefly. I appreciate it. Am I streaming tomorrow? Potentially. Not 100% sure yet. Yep, that's another Force Toad. There's 2 Force Toads in this world, I'm pretty sure. Oh, we did nice! Sounds like fun, bro. Any cool looking cars? There's a Calm Lakitu we gonna smash. We gonna pass on the hammer, brother. Oh, there's a Joy Koopa there. Joy Koopas do figure eights. There's some sleek gloom movement I can be doing in this room. I missed the opportunity to start it, so we're just gonna take the room a little safer. You can jump up there and skip this ladder on the right. I unfortunately missed it. That's okay though. What enemies are so rare? You need to actually pay attention for the 100%. There is one enemy that sticks out for me for that, and that is the Calm Fishin' Boo. Shows up one time at the very end of 3-5. That is the only place to defeat him. So if you miss it the first time around, you have to go to the very end of the stage. The nice thing about the second time around for all the stages, once you get all the collectibles, you can just bail the stage in your 100% run. Because the game doesn't care if you get the gold ring, the game just cares did you get all the collectibles. So you have to get that Calm Fishin' Boo in your first visit to save time. Besides that, it's not really about rare enemies so much as it is heavy defense enemies. Like Boos cannot be killed without using Rage Vibe. Pokies can't be killed without Rage Vibe, stuff like that. So you have to just go out of your way to remember to use Rage Vibe. Also, I'm going to use my trampoline height with the Gloom to skip some trampolines and get another star. I'm trying, with all these stars, you'd think one of them would be a peach, but I don't get any peaches. Just stars. It's okay, you're all stars in my book. Damage boost off the little pokey there. And this path we take here actually skips a whole bunch of the level, which works out nicely for any percent, because you have to go the long way around to get all the toads. We get to just skip all that here. Interestingly, actually one of the 100% collectibles is in this room, so you're actually forced to take two different routes if you wanted to get the toads and the collectibles. Because you have to go up in this far right section. There's a switch I could possibly hit to make these platforms appear. I don't want to do it. I'm just going to fly all the way up. Another water auto scroll. This one's really fun. If I don't press anything and just let myself fall, I get a secret path. Deleting everything. I don't know. If you were to get Peter Ocean. Honestly, from how I've practiced everything, money beyond the first 2 shop visits is irrelevant. There hasn't been any significant route optimizations that I'm aware of that having extra Vibe Tea or Poundbrella or anything like that would make additional shop visits worth it. You lose like 15 seconds going into the shop to buy an item, specifically an extra Vibe Tea. Buying Floatbrella, you can like skip a lot of the animations and stuff. If you buy a Vibe Tea, you watch the tea float slowly from the bottom screen up into the mouth of Perry on the top screen. And it's just not worth the trouble. You would need to have like alternate Gloom strats pre-planned to make it worth it to do all that, and that's just nothing that's ever been optimized. Alrighty, we're going back to World 1's minigame of the trampolines. I'm really sorry to hear that, Eddie. So yeah. We're just gonna basically go up the entire left side here. Nothing too crazy to the movement. Gonna get all the way to the top here. Go! No, but here's a nice little trick. Ricochet off the side. Alrighty. Magic Koopa time. If I can get this first movement really quick, like so, we skip Kamek's first teleport and go straight into the first hit. If you know how to do it, it's not that hard, but you have to start moving instantly to catch the Magic Koopa before he teleports away. But yeah, we're just gonna use Gloom to dizzy the head 3 times. Phase 2, he gets all sad, and this cloud goes away. but hitting him is still the exact same thing. We're just gonna fly up above, do a little bit of floating, and bonk. And one more time. Spin. Bonk. Alright, I said each boss has a toad. This one does not have a toad. This one has some very strange original character I've never heard of. If you know who this green man is... See, look, I saved the green man? If you have any idea who that is, let me know. Yeah, I guess that's another alternative, Kami. Just do the inverse. Alrighty, now we're in World 8. We're in the home stretch here. Last world. The stages get really long suddenly. It's crazy. And they get a little labyrinthy, too. Like, we're about to have to deal with a whole bunch of doors up ahead. It's crazy. But yeah, like, going left takes me to a toad. I'm just going to keep going forward. I go right there. Going all the way left here is where I need to go, but the first door taking me to a toad. All the way right here takes me forward, skips a toad. And now we go up. Down this ladder. Through the door, and I am a little low on vibe. So I'm going to go ahead and eat this hamburger real quick. And then we're going to go for a flight. Oh, bonked my head. That's okay. Big ladder climb. Boom. And no more doors. At least for this room. Pipe. So you saw there was an angry Boo there. That is actually one of my favorite enemies in this game because it's a really unique mechanic. Because the way they work, is they're inverse of standard Boos. They attack you when you're looking at them instead of looking away. I think that was I mean, it's not that difficult of a concept, but I still find it kind of creative and cool. Unfortunately, lost a little bit of time trying to navigate around it, but we got a star! Still no peach. Abby, no leave in 3 months. Alrighty, here's the other big auto-scroller of the game. It's a slow left, right, up and up kind of auto-scroller. And the game, like, has a ceiling. Like, there is a top of the room hitbox, so I can't, like... I can't, like, try to move off-screen or anything. Well, I'm glad you can blow off steam here, Abby. We're here for you, girl. Say whatever you need to. Get it off your chest for the princess. Excuse me. So yeah, we're just climbing up and up and up and up. You'll ruin lives? Okay. Go on a rant in Discord then. Just DM me a bunch of stuff just to just say it all, you know? You can even delete it before I read it if you don't want me to actually read it. And that's the end. We go through the door. Alright, this is another bit of a puzzly room. It's all about hitting these switches that make the different platforms move around. I've actually seen people playing casually get lost in this room. But all you have to do is hit the switch in the top right corner, and I gotta run, and make it in here. It's one of those things that I've done so many times, it's like second nature. So like, I honestly have trouble understanding, why people have trouble with it. But it's honestly because I forget how much trouble I had doing it way back when I played the first time. Nothing against them. There are some like subtly tricky things to this game. Honestly, you have 6 health, you can buy a lot of vibe. For the most part, it's a very beginner-friendly game, but every now and then it gives you a little bit of a curveball that can be a little tricky. And honestly, the post-game levels up the difficulty by a lot. The 3 bonus levels per world, those spontaneously up the difficulty by a lot. And actually they have a design that reminds me of Mario Maker levels. Like some of the layouts like don't even look like practical, aesthetically pleasing level design entirely. It's interesting. I love these little cannon enemies. I feel like they're original to SPP. Never have I ever dealt with cannon enemies like that before. More torches to light. Unfortunately, Rage Vibe does not do the trick. We need these blue flames. La la la. But yeah, that's how you open the doors. More disintegrating platforms and done. So yeah, we're just navigating through Bowser's Villa like this. We're gonna make our way to the tippy top. And then like I said before, every stage has 3 toads. We haven't been saving them. If I try to enter the final stage normally now, you'll see Perry on the top screen being like, whoa, it looks dangerous in here. We need to save all the toads to get in. And then I'm like, nah. Then I'm like, nah. So yeah, I'm gonna try to like explain a little bit ahead of time what you have to do to get Toad. I thought I was gonna damage boost onto the platform, not land on it. That threw me off. What to do. So when I finish this stage, try to look at the bottom screen. You'll see little dots appear to like make their way. Let's go! Side note, my first emote is inspired by Slidebrella. Let's go! As Peach zoomies on the parasol. Yeah, look at in between the stages, like when this new stage forms, you'll see little dots appear. We're going to be looking on those little dots and tapping on a very specific dot in a very specific moment to be able to break into the final stage. Ooh. I like this next room. There's a giant Thwomp face in the background. The way to get through, you have to freeze in a position that matches the statues when his eyes are open. So I'm going to squat right here. I match the squatting statues, I don't get taken away. I have to do it again right here. Oh, I did it way too early, I screwed up. If I did it later, I would have been able to make it to the door without having to stop a 3rd time. You have to get to like under the heart for the second look. I unfortunately hit down way too early and stopped short. But getting through that room really fast is super cool. There's a Joy Blooper doing figure 8s. Under fire, water. Wait. Underwater fire. That one, yeah. That's a classic Mario trope. They're just being fire bars underwater. My favorite. Couple more blue torches to light and spike tops. But yeah, I mentioned there were so many like nostalgic references enemies-wise. We had Petey Piranha. We had Gooper Blooper. Even Wiggler shows up in Sunshine. I went too far and the blue fire despawned. Oopsies. We've seen Super Mario World enemies like Rexes and Fish and Boos and Amazing Flying Hammer Bros. Those paratroopers have like not Yoshi's Story, Yoshi's Island inspired wings. There's ravens from Yoshi. Like this game is like trying to invoke all the... So look at the little dots next to the level and then we go. Not sure if you saw them in time. I was kind of describing them fast. One more time. Let's go! Zoomies! Can I get a let's go in the chat? Thank you, Abby. Let's pink gold. It's possible if you oversaturate the screen to make one of those urchins like despawn or fly away. Very bizarre. Ooh, I don't know if y'all remember, in World 3, there were, oops. There were, rooms with gravity that we rotated. We have another one here. I love this one because, watch this. I go over here and down, and I'm done. Nice rotations, am I right? I find that, like, you can rotate to get coins and such. But, like, you don't need to rotate at all to get to the exit. And you don't even need to fly either. Just literally, just run and go down. But yeah, we are, like, going around and avoiding so many back areas where toads are. A lot of the World 8 stages become so much shorter because we get to skip toads. Like, the final stage is gonna go by so fast. It's crazy. Because the way the final stage is set up is there is an auto-scroller, and then you end up in, like, a hub room with 4 ways out in the 4 corners. 3 of those 4 corners lead you to toads. The 4th corner leads you to the exit, and we just go straight to the exit. So yeah, this next stage, the last level before the boss, is gonna go by so fast. So fast. And yeah, after we beat this stage, we're gonna leave to the overworld map and then come back in. And in doing so, we're gonna set up for Toadskin. And hopefully what happens after not too long is we tap on the right part of the screen and it breaks us in and you'll see us start doing the final touchscreen minigame. But yeah, so here's the big hub room I was talking about. We are just gonna fly straight up left. And this is where we get to the end of the level, essentially. So fast. We just gotta know which column to go down, which is this one right here. Down the pipe we go. And just like that, we are done with the last stage before the boss. Okay, so now I'm gonna back out, and then I'm going to be looking on the bottom screen for like a little dot to appear in between one of the levels. So now we wait. And hopefully we get good luck and I get good tapping skills. I'm looking. Nothing so far. Yeah, and this is RNG. Like, you don't get to decide where this appears or when. So I could be staring at the screen for a while. I can also reset the room and try to get it to appear faster. This is actually really bad RNG. This is really bad RNG. It's not showing up at all. There it is. It appeared right next to that level, so actually it took a long time to appear and it appeared in a bad spot, so I didn't even get the trick. Let's try again and hopefully we get luckier. Because you have to tap right where it appears or a little bit to the left of it. But if it's right next to a stage, you can accidentally go into the stage. Like I just did. Alright, that time it was all the way on the far right. That was crazy. That's actually a really hard one to get. Because if you mistap, you tap too low, you hit the blue U-turn and you go back out to the overworld. So honestly, yes, that was second try, but it was like after a long time failing a first try, it was a very fast and a very precise second try. So overall, not too bad. That's the kind of thing you don't want to happen on a PB pace run. Like, imagine being on PB pace and then suddenly you just, the skull that you have to tap just doesn't appear and then you just lose to bad RNG. That'd be so sad. Anyways, there's 3 parts to this last final boss. The Mario Kart make a pipe level, yeah. Fair enough. We're basically just gonna bounce on this guy or hit him with rage 5 times. See, I like using Gloom to chase him down. If you don't hit him fast enough, he will do a little cutscene where he summons more More Hammer Bros. We skipped that cutscene. That was really fast. Next phase is actually probably the slowest and trickiest one. The final phase, if you can do it right, is done in a blink of an eye. It's crazy. I'm gonna... this one, it's just a matter of hitting him with Rage 10 times, like so. Oh, I did it too late. That's unfortunate. That's okay. You can hit him before he turns on his vibe. It's like I'm gonna do it here, watch. And there's my first hit, and now he's gonna go into a gloom vibe. But yeah, usually you don't run out of vibe, but you have to be a little careful. But yeah, when it comes, you've seen I've picked up some enemies. That's with the X button. But with enemies you can't pick up, hitting them with the X button treats it as them just getting hit like normal. The game seems to extend that property to bosses. Because you can't pick up bosses, instead you just damage bosses when you try to pick them up. You're supposed to throw bombs into Big Bowser's face. Instead, I'm going to try to pick up Bowser in the eyeball 5 times, and that's going to kill him. I essentially defeat Bowser by poking his eye out 5 times. Watch this. 1, 2, and time comes up on the 5th hit, by the way. You can actually get bad RNG in that he'll try to, on the last hit, he tries to go to sleep and heal. If he instantly closes his eyes, I can possibly not get that 5th hit in time. Fortunately, he didn't instant fall asleep, so we got the 5th hit, and that is time. And that's super me, Super Princess Peach. Any percent. Speedrun by Princess Peach. And for the finale, we play some golf. Give Bowser the good old yeet. Nice shot. And the green man, unfortunately, gets one last yeeting, and Mario is saved. And that is the end of Princess Peach's adventure on Vibe Island, on a quest to save Mario, a bunch of Toads, and the Green Man. And that is just a little over 2 minutes, a little under 2 minutes worse than my PD. Because we had a few things here and there that were oopsies, but I mean, we had one Peach split, which was epic. That was a really good Blazzaris fight. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I want to get some more runs in the near future, maybe across the next month. I think I want to highlight this. I want to say this is the first time. I think this is the first time I've beaten Super Princess Peach as Princess Peach. I think it's a cute little thing to have saved. What would be really cool is if Princess Peach had the world record in Super Princess Peach. That's the dream, but I don't plan on dressing up that often. Jen Taylor. I was trying to think of all the Princess Peach voices. And the only one I could think of was the first one, and now I'm blanking on her name. But yeah, 2 people that voiced Princess Peach worked on this game. Jen Taylor was the voice of Princess Peach. But the localizer for this game was the original voice of Princess Peach from Mario 64. Here we go. Leslie Swan. I love that 2 Princess Peaches worked on this game. Jen Taylor and Leslie Swan both worked on this game, and both of them had voiced Princess Peach. So yeah, thank you all for watching the run. That was very fun. How was my commentary? What do y'all think? Did you enjoy listening? Was it informative? Was it smooth enough? I know I stumbled from time to time, but that's okay. That's okay. Yes, thank you, Charlie. Thank you. And one last fun screen. Berry and Peach.